So this is a partnership between Disney and Globe, and the project is called I Dare to Dream, where 6 young women are put through challenges as teens and individuals, and mentored by professionals in their chosen field of endeavor. And at the end of this competition, one of them will be chosen to head off to Tokyo to witness the Vietnamese premiere. So that's going to be exciting. And Emma Watson will be there.
Wow. Are you going to go?
I don't think I can because I have other stuff here going on. So I'm not able to go.
Speaking of
I have a lot of stuff.
a lot going on.
I have a lot going on. I have concerts this coming weekend. I have The Voice. I have Fun Home. And then I head off to the States. I'm sure I'm missing something else, but yes, there's a lot going on.
Okay, so tell us about this concert piece, because why didn't you do it on Valentine's Day or post Valentine's Day?
There are a lot of concerts that happen on Valentine's Day, and well, I like having concerts on a weekend, and I like reserving Valentine's Day for my family. So I try not to do any work on the 14th. But we're doing it on the 17th and the 18th, which is kind of when conventionally people go out on the weekend and just to have fun, and it's school the next day, and so I figured it would be much better to do it on a weekend because nobody then would have to worry about it's late, it doesn't matter. So it's fun. It's more fun that way.
Tell us about the concept. Why did you decide to do the songs from the stage?
It's been 15 years since the last concert that we devoted to musical theater, and that was the Broadway concert. That was in 2002. So we're like, you know what? We have to do another musical theater themed concert because so many more shows have opened since that last one in 2002. I mean, there's Hamilton, there's Waitress, there's Dear Evan Hansen. What else is it? There's a lot that's open. Plus, there are a lot of shows that songs of which I've not done. So it's like, here's an opportunity now for me to get to try my voice with this other material that we never got to do.
So all new materials.
So there's a lot of brand new arrangements. And if there are songs that have been done before, I've never done them. So it's like, it's a musical adventure for me. And even some of the older stuff. I mean, we're featuring stuff from the 70s and stuff from the 80s, and there's like stuff from Burt Bacharach that was featured in a brand new show on the West End and off Broadway, titled Close to You, Bacharach Reimagined. And so even the arrangements of those songs from that cast album are different. And so it's like fresh spins on things, which for us is part of the adventure, because it's like, it's all of this old and familiar stuff, but it doesn't sound like what we heard when we were younger. So it's a lot of fun to do.
How challenging is it?
Well, as far as challenge, if it's a musical theater song, it's going to be vocally challenging. That's just part of that's just part for the course. I mean, in every musical that I've done, it's like there's always that thing in my head of, can I sing this? And it's emotionally challenging as well as vocally. So I think with every musical number, there is that element, even if it's not a vocally challenging song. If there's an emotional tug that makes it sometimes difficult to get through. But yeah, it's always fun. It's always an adventure to get into one of those things.
Okay, and you have a rerun,
Another run of Fun Home, but we're doing 12 shows again at RCBC, and it's the exact same company. I think they've sung the kids to make sure that puberty hasn't hit them very hard, and I think we're okay. I think we're fine. So so it's going to be from March 10th to the 19th. Tickets are available on Ticket World. Hopefully I didn't get the schedule wrong. But we're doing a dozen shows, and it's like, we're going back into the dysfunctional Bechdel family home. We're going back into the fun home, which is going to be fun.
How do you juggle everything? I mean, you're going to be doing the concert, then you're doing voice again.
Yes. I think it helps to focus on one thing at a time. So, I mean, my brother and I just came from Australia. So, the funny thing, we both are very similar in the sense that, it's hard to focus on these concerts coming up while still doing another set of shows where it's a whole different repertoire, a whole different set of lyrics in my head. So So for me, it's like I have to focus on one project at a time, and then I can really, really hyper focus on it once I'm in it. Yeah, instead of focusing on too many things, it's like mentally I cannot make lagay. Yeah, it's not fair if I split my focus into all this.
And for the boys, this is going to be for the teens.
For teenagers,
It's going to be very different from how you handle the kids because you're going to be tougher now.
Well, we kind of can be, and I mean, it's the format I think is a little bit it's more similar to the adult version because they can handle it. We can do two-person battles, we can do steals, we can do. The competition can be a little bit more tough for them.
Yeah.
Because hey, you're in preparation for adulthood. We might as well get you started. But I mean, we still have to handle various degrees of sensitivity because we're going to have kids as young as 13 and as old as 16, 17. So there's a lot to juggle, and there's also puberty and all the hormonal craziness that goes with it. So the challenge isn't just being able to coach a vocalist, because when you have kids, they're pretty stable.
Yeah.
Adults, for the most part, pretty stable, but teenagers can be unpredictable, and so there is a challenge for each of the coaches also in trying to handle temperament and focus, just because there's a biological thing that we're also fighting against. So this should be interesting for each of us.
Whenever I interview a producer that comes to the Philippines, and they always mention you, and they always say like, oh, maybe they're going to audition, the next day is so long. There's always that. Okay, number one question is how to be you, how to be Alea Salonga. So when kids ask you how to be you, what do you tell them?
That's a tough question to answer because it involves, you have to give up a lot. You give up a lot of your weekends. You give up a lot of your free time. You have to make a lot of sacrifices if this is what you want to be. There's a lot of hard work involved. There's sleep deprivation. There's focus, and you got to give up a lot of recreational time if this is what you want to actually do. And it's not all fun and games. It's a lot of hard work. And I mean, I was fortunate to be in the industry when I was in it, because there were a lot of other young people just like me that were going through the same thing. So I never felt like nag-iisa lang pala ako dito, I mean, there were so many other teenagers that were in the industry along with me. So it was nice that I didn't feel unique or singular in a way. Everybody had a singular talent. Everybody was gifted. Everybody was talented. But the cool thing was, like, hey, I'm not alone in this. And so I would see people growing up alongside me that were doing the same thing. And it felt great. So, yeah, so I think there's also a lot of luck and a lot of good fortune that goes with it because of the circumstances that I happen to be in.
But when they say the next Lea Salonga, if you were the one to...
That's hard.
Yeah. But do you see any of the talents that we have right now that you think, hey, she could be the next Lea Salonga?
There's a lot. I mean, there are people that I kind of keep an eye on from childhood. There are people that are on The Voice that are kind of making their careers now, and I kind of keep an eye out for them also. I'm not naming names. No, I'm not going to single anybody out. I don't want to do that because then it might color a lot of people's perceptions and stuff. So I'm much better if I just very, very quietly, very discreetly not say anything and just keep an eye out and still continue to mentor and not so much coach, but just kind of help very quietly and not in a public way. There's no need for that.
Marie, sorry, I need to cut already
Okay, yeah,
because
sure.
she needs to go to Laguna.
Oh, it's 46. It's not a big birthday. When I turn 50, that'll be another big one. But for 46, just go out with my husband and my daughter and find a place to go out and eat. Okay. And then that's it.
Go ahead.
The last Disney Princess is the one at Pacific Island.
Yes.
It's about time that Southeast Asia or Philippines should have their own Disney Princess.
Well, I think if Disney finds the right one, Because I mean, we do have our culture of having had princesses, and on our islands we've had an Urdu have. So I think if they find the right story and if it fits the overarching Disney princess narrative, and if there are lessons to be learned, then that might be possible. I mean, there are princesses in so many Southeast Asian countries. Which one's it going to be? Is it going to be from us? Is it going to be from Thailand? Is it going to be from Malaysia? I don't think it matters at this point. But I am happy that there was at least one. And then now there's a Pacific Islander.
Yeah, it's closest.